Guys, I'm super excited to have Alex Beller, co-founder of Postscript, on the pod. What's up, man?
Nate, what's good? Great to be here.
Dude, I'm so glad that we got to hang out in person this year because we've been Twitter
Yeah,
friends for a few years now.
a few years.
And I've been a paying customer of Postscript for 3 or 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And this year we've gotten to eat hot dogs in Yankee Stadium and
Yeah.
eat sushi at Nobu Malibu, which is probably like the two ends of the spectrum I live on, and where I like to hang out with people on.
Is it messed up if I say that I preferred the hot dogs?
No, it's not, dude.
And I'm not throwing
It's
shade.
not.
Dinner was amazing.
It's great.
I love some sushi.
It just wasn't a ballpark Frank, though.
I was in the spirit pouring sake, but it wasn't a ballpark dog.
Well, and do you know how we know that we prefer the dogs? Because at Malibu, I wasn't stuffing sushi into my pockets on the way out.
No.
But at Yankee Stadium, I was taking a pocket dog for the Uber home.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to ride a subway an hour to get home from a Yankee game, I'm going to bring a hot dog with me, and I'm going to get stares from a full subway car of them watching me eat a ballpark dog. That's just
you're going to be the meme standing in the corner being like, they don't know that I run the best SaaS on the planet. Like, I'm just over here eating my hot dog.
Yeah, I don't know if it gives that.
It gives SaaS founder energy.
It gives something.
Yeah.
It gives bum energy for sure.
But all right, dude, super pumped to have you on. I want to get into a few SMS tactics that have absolutely crushed for us. You know, the podcast is called Tactical and Practical, so we're going to keep it tactical and practical. And then on the back half, we're going to talk about some of the new features that you guys have rolled out this year that are already making us money, which I feel like is not something every SaaS upgrade and feature can say. So I definitely want to make sure people know about that. But first up, I want to talk about our list growth efforts for the last year, because it's been a big priority for us internally to get a lot of our email subscribers to sign up for SMS as well. So we have been running a giveaway with every new product launch where we email everyone. We say like, hey, you know, tomorrow or next week, we are launching this new product. There's usually only 100 at a time, so they sell out fairly quickly. If you want to enter to win one for free and sign up to be first in line, sign up for our text list. We're sending out the text first, so go get it quick.
Yep.
Every time we do that, we get a few thousand people to migrate over from email to SMS. Super easy. Like,
that's
the simplest thing in the world.
That's just found money.
Yeah. Like, it's simple, and this is, I feel like, the theme of my podcast, where I just say simple stuff that's made us a bunch of money, and everyone's like, oh yeah, why isn't everyone doing this?
Sure.
But that's where the money's at. Mm-hmm. So we've done that. We've tripled the size of our text list in a year. And then the other thing we're doing on the back end of that kind of makes the product launches pop off is we text everybody and we say, hey, we're announcing the winner to the giveaway on our website. Go check. And we send them a link at the top. It has the new collection on it, whatever we're promoting. And then there's a line of copy that says like, hey, and the winner is Alex B. Congrats. We'll contact you directly. But that's been such a massive way for us to grow our list and then maximize new product launches like crazy, because we get every single person who signed up to come and check to see if they won. And I think I showed you a couple screenshots. We have some campaigns that have a 100% click-through rate, which is insane.
Which is amazing. To me, that shows the power of of marketing disguised as content, right? So like marketing text messages are really important, right? Product drop, discount, whatever. But oftentimes a piece of content can generate just such a higher volume of engagement and traffic that a percentage of which will still convert if merchandised well. And I think that oftentimes marketers in our space, when thinking about the SMS channel, they really want to go promo, and they won't ever dabble in things that aren't technically a promotion and get into content when it can work, as you're describing.
Dude, it can work a ton. I think you saw the one we did earlier this year too, that was born from a real scenario where I spent too much money at the bar on the company card. And I texted a picture of the receipt to everyone. And I was like, hey, my boss is pissed that I spent $300 on cocktails last night with one employee. But if you buy some of our Whiskey Barrel watches, like maybe it'll help out. And it absolutely ripped. There wasn't a sale. There wasn't a deal. It was just like a relatable thing. I feel like we've all gotten a bar tab that we're like, oh, really? These were $21 Manhattans? Like, oh shit, I didn't know that. But yeah, dude, content on SMS crushes.
Absolutely.
What else have you seen for kind of out of the box list growth strategies that people are using to build their SMS list, not just with the most subscribers, but with the right engaged subscribers with intent?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are top of mind for me. So obviously, and I think we'll talk about this in a little bit, like we still see that pop-ups generate for well-optimized programs like over 70% of opt-ins. And so putting the time and energy into making sure you have a really good pop-up setup is a good thing. But that's like less like surprise and tactical. So let me share a couple of ones that are less common. Having an additional exit intent pop-up. A lot of brands don't do this.
I don't think we do.
It prints. It prints, right? I know that people don't want to compromise brand experience, so maybe don't get too aggressive with it, but having an additional exit intent pop-up with an intro offer of some kind for new shoppers, that prints list growth. That's one. Second, I would say, piggybacking off your email giveaway to siphon email subscribers into SMS. One of my favorite opt-in methods that's still pretty rare is a persistent call to action in email flows that goes out encouraging people to opt into SMS. So I'm not asking for premium real estate, right?
Yeah.
Below the fold,
yeah.
Bottom of emails footer, but having a bar. And what you can do with the PostScript Klaviyo integration, you can have that only display to people who haven't opted into SMS. So if they've opted in, it'll disappear.
That's super sick.
It'll disappear for them. But if they haven't opted in yet, it'll show to them a call to action, whether it's a click to a landing page, whether it's a, text Nate to 30303. Like that just prints over time. It's totally passive. It's real estate that's not being used. And I like to see people merchandise it with like opt into our VIP list, or to your point, get first look at new product drops, like sign up for SMS. For engaged people, moving them from email to SMS, that prints just because it's such a higher engagement channel.
Super powerful.
The third I'll tease.
Oh, we're getting three? Oh,
we're
shit,
getting three.
Dude. The first two were good.
The third I'll tease is High Tide, which is actually a vendor, and it's not PostScript. We have a good partnership with them, but like this is not me endorsing another PostScript product. High Tide, it's probably not for every brand, but we've seen it print. It is an app that will DM your social followers and generate compliant SMS phone number opt-ins off those DMs. So it's new, it's up and coming in the space, but we've seen a bunch of instances of High Tide, spelled HITIDE, for social SMS list growth being an incremental new channel and helping move social followers over to SMS.
Dude, that's really interesting. And yeah, let me just pause the podcast here and speak to the listeners here. I'm not bringing SaaS guys on to shill, but like I've sent my retention manager 3 Slacks since he started talking a minute ago of like, hey, we should do this. Like I love having guys on like you that are so connected to the tactics and like to the execution of what makes this stuff awesome. Because like this isn't just a commercial for PostScript.
No, it's a commercial for this
well, or High Tide or whoever. It's tactical stuff that is printing money for e-com brands right now.
Sure. I mean, look, I appreciate it. Like that actually is like how I think about the market. Like, I don't know if any of your listeners are interested in like B2B, but I think that marketers want like deeply tactical feedback on what we're seeing work in the channel, and not like, here's our features, but way more like help us grow.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Exit intents, I think, are super underrated. The only way that we've really used them this year is an exit intent to direct people to other areas of our website. Most commonly, like a more affordable collection. Price is always our biggest objection. So we found success in being like, hey, like, exit intent is like shop watches under 200, or shop a collection that's just priced a little bit below whatever you're looking at, but doing it for list growth sounds great. And then the ongoing CTA and email flows is, like you said, just found money. Like, it's not getting in the way of anything else. It's not distracting from anything.
Yeah.
It should be like, hey, the most engaged people should be on our SMS list because it's a better engagement, better revenue generating channel.
Totally.
It's awesome.
And, I also think that people tend to still, even today, overthink having subscribers on both email and SMS, right? People really overthink that. But like, marketing is touching people on as many channels as you can. Like, that's like what marketing is, because, all of us consumers, we're like hopping around and overstimulated and blind. So it's like good to touch
100%
buyers on multiple channels.
100%, which brings me to my next tactic that's crushed for us this year, just about touching people multiple times. Don't take that out of context. But we have been, every time we send out a campaign, whether it's a new product, a promo, going out of stock text, a back in stock text, within 24 hours, we are duplicating that text, sending it to people that clicked on the first one, tweaking the copy, removing the image. So it's really cheap to send to this segment. Most cost between like 500 and $2,000 to send out. But we're sending a similar message with the same CTA to the people that were most engaged but didn't buy from the first campaign. Again, that's not going to blow anyone's minds, but we've been doing it consistently. And that second one sometimes makes just as much money as the first campaign. And it costs us, in comparison, pennies to send out.
Yeah. It's such a targeted message.
And
it's very, very smart.
Yeah. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, all right, cool. We know these people saw the thing for a new product drop. They were interested enough in it to click it. And, we're not doing anything clickbaity. We're tricking them. So like, if they clicked on it, they saw a picture of the watch on that text. That means they're somewhat interested. They came to our site and they didn't buy. Could have been the price was wrong. Could have been the time was wrong. They were just busy. So sending that reminder, like, we've been amazed every time we do it. It's like, cool. It costs us $1,000 to send it out. For us, as long as we sell 3 watches, it's like, all right, cool, we broke even on it. And most of the time we sell 40, and it's like really, really impactful.
Sure. That's awesome. It's awesome to hear it's become part of your standard playbook. That's just like, I mean, it's funny because like Facebook does that for us on the acquisition side, right? Like, increase your targeting to people who are like closer to purchase, like keep showing them. But on the retention side, that isn't like that sort of tendency isn't built into the product yet. It's really clever. Here's one that I'll throw out there that's similar. It fits under the category of repeat campaign sends. So the holidays are approaching.
They are.
Holidays are fast approaching. Last year, our data science team took a look at brand performance for brands that sent multiple campaigns on the big shopping days versus only one, because the default, of course, is it's a big day. Yeah, to send an SMS campaign, of course, but sending follow-up campaigns, excluding anyone who purchased, right? Sending follow-up campaigns to everyone else on the biggest shopping days of the year, on BF through Cyber Week, absolutely crushes.
100%.
It absolutely crushes. I mean, we've seen brands ramp up from there. I'm not trying to push people like over sending on SMS, but I do think that on those big shopping days, repeat campaigns,
send a few,
send several. People are they're in shopping mode and they're overstimulated. So getting in front of them several times is a good thing. Change up the creative, change up the approach, but like, you want to keep sending throughout that week.
Yeah. I've given like a half joking task to my director of retention this holiday. I've told him, hey, BFCM weekend, send emails until one of them generates $0 in revenue. Like, that's how much I want to hit our list. We're definitely a little more conservative on the SMS side. It's a little more personal touch point. But we're gonna send a handful on Friday, and then a couple more on Saturday, and a few on Sunday, and then a lot more on Monday too. And definitely segment out people who have bought, segment out people that maybe haven't clicked on the past, I don't know, 3 or 5 or 30 days of campaigns. We don't want to hit people that don't want to be hit, but we've seen a lot of times that just sending an extra text costs very minimal amounts of money and prints cash.
Yep. I was speaking to a brand the other day who they've really come around this year. That, like, in past years, it's a big brand, everyone knows them, and in past years they were, just very conservative with the use of their SMS asset, their SMS list. And this year, what they've been noticing, and they're like, hey, on days we send an SMS are the days that we hit our revenue goals for the day. And so, and they have a really high SKU count, so they're able to like send a lot of text and keep things fresh. And they were talking to me about like, okay, in the holidays, like, how should we think about ramp up? And they default to sending like 2 campaigns a week. And I was like, look, in the holiday season, there's so much noise going on. Your list, if you're coming with new creative and new products and new angles, your list can absolutely tolerate incremental sends. Like, you are not going to burn people out by increasing your cadence during this time of year, because they're getting it from all angles.
And like, the way that I always think about it, someone who unsubscribes probably wasn't buying again anyway. And like, that's kind of how I view it. And I'm definitely biased because we have a brand that like repeat purchasing is not super built into the category we're in. It's watches. Like, I'm pumped with a 25% repeat purchaser rate. So I look at past customers on our list of like, all right, 75% of you are never coming back. I might as well text you a bunch until you do. And if you unsubscribe, okay, I didn't think you were coming back anyway. Is there any kind of stronger guidelines you give them that, or is just kind of going for it the right approach?
So I think that you're hitting on something that we think is good, but is like pretty contentious to say in retention circles these days. So my co-founder, Colin, who you've met, he has dug into this a lot. And he has this perspective that like unsubscribes aren't bad.
Yep. Agreed.
Like, especially on a channel like SMS where it's expensive to send, right?
Saves us money.
If you get people off your list, they like probably weren't going to buy from you. So that's like a fine outcome. Now, obviously you'd want to see like healthy list growth over time, and you want to have a really good result, what we call A score. You want to see a really good ratio of like new subscribers coming onto your list compared to the amount of orders and traffic you do each month. That's for sure. That helps with conversion, and you want your list to grow over time. But if you're encouraging folks to like leave your list who weren't going to buy, you're just saving money.
Yep. And I think you're squeezing the last drops of revenue out of everyone else that stays on.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot higher opportunity cost of like not sending than losing some subscribers that statistically weren't going to come back anyway, with the asterisks of like, yeah, we got to be growing over time. We got to make sure we're not, completely burning it down with short-term tactics. But yeah, I don't get mad at unsubscribes. I don't unsubscribe from anything personally unless I'm like super over that brand. Like, if I'm like, no, fuck you guys, I don't like it. And that's kind of how I view our unsubscribers.
Sure.
But all right, man, let's talk about a couple new things that Postscript has rolled out this year. One of them's already making us money, which is really exciting. And what's even crazier about it is it's an AI tool. And it's one of a million AI tools that have come out in the last year. And I think the vast majority of them are kind of not great.
Sure.
And we talked about this in Yankee Stadium in April. And then I got the full peek at it in July. And I was really impressed with what you guys had done, because this isn't just AI for the sake of AI. No. And I feel like a lot of these tools are like, what if we just add a language model on top of what was already a decent platform?
Yes.
This is using AI in a way that I think like multiplies our output. It multiplies how fast we can test things. It's uncovering things about our subscribers and about our brand that we might have never gotten to. And if we did, it would have taken a year.
Sure.
So tell us about Infinity testing. kind of how you guys came up with it and how you're seeing brands execute on it and the results now.
So it's interesting hearing your perspective. Yeah, I mean, me and you've been talking about this for a long time. I think that there is a push within SaaS, right, where you're seeing all this new AI technology come out, and you're seeing all these new like AI valuations, and so you want to run towards that. You want to be an AI company. And I was saying for a long time, in fact, one of our competitors has mocked me for this in their sales decks, for saying that like we aren't going to do AI unless it like really makes sense. But I felt like it was important that,
which is crazy that that's a hot take in the world of SaaS right now.
it's
You know what I mean? Like the fact that you're getting flamed from that says a lot about the other guys.
Yeah, they had a picture of me on a podcast looking like this, being like, "We're not going to do AI." Anyway, very silly. We, in particular, our whole like perspective on the market is that everything we do, like we want to drive SMS towards being the number one revenue channel. And like we know that sounds lofty, but like we need to set a really high like goal. And so everything we do needs to drive provable incremental revenue. That's like ideally verified by holdout tests. That's like the thing. And so when LLMs and when AI first started to come out, what was interesting for us, obviously, is like the ability for it to create copy and content rapidly and quickly at scale. But the thing that's less interesting to us is saving marketers time. The thing that's more interesting is generating provable incremental dollars.
Mhm.
And so with our first AI product, and there's more coming, we launched something called Marketing AI, MAI. It's called Infinity Testing. And what it does is it creates hundreds of versions of high value messages that a brand is sending out. In this case, a browse abandon or abandoned cart messages. It takes the inspiration that a marketer puts in, right, which is normally like a good high performing automation message. It creates hundreds of variants of that message. It automatically holdout tests each of them, and it routes more traffic to the ones that perform better. And there's two interesting things happening. The first is that obviously anything we send out has to be extremely on brand. So we built this thing called the Brand Center, where brands can go in and they can describe their brand, and they can like customize like what it sounds like, and they can see test messages and upvote and downvote them. And that ensures that everything that goes out is brand friendly, and it gives you control, which is really
like which I was out on this platform, like this program, until you guys told me that. Because like I've seen so much AI copy all week. By the way, we're recording this on October 29th. All week, the amount of no tricks, all treats email subject lines I've seen for brands that have nothing to do with Halloween is pissing me off. And I've always been afraid to like give complete control to some of these AI tools, because I'm like, you're gonna spit out fucking simple garbage that you're spitting out for every brand. Like I don't want our brand touching it. But this brand center, I think, is perfect for being like, no, let me just put some guardrails up so you know who we are, what we're about, who our customers are. Let me give this tool that data, so it's like not going off the rails completely. And since we've been on it, I've gone and read some of the messages it's come up with, and there hasn't been a thing on it that I'm like, oh, that's not what I would say at all. Like it's all right in line with what it should be.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And like, honestly, your feedback helped me a little bit with that perspective. When we first spoke about it, you're like,
we need some control.
We aren't ready for like black box, like customer communication. And so that's how it works on the brand side. And here's the two interesting things. First, it's working. It's averaging about a 20% lift in earnings per message. All of it's proven by holdout testing. The other interesting thing, the message that's working changes over time. Like what works in summer is very different than Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So it's constantly changing and testing. And the third thing that's interesting, we're seeing, and this is early, I'm like just forming up my perspective on it. The brands that are like much more limiting in Brand Center tend to see worse performance lift. The brands that are like, you know, here's 100 words that I like don't want you to use, versus the brands that are like, here's some stuff to avoid, here's our tone of voice, go. Like the less restrictions you give, the higher performance lift you see. So that's like an early thing that I'm still thinking about and trying to get my head around. But we're really excited about infinity testing on automations. Like me and you were chatting before we hit record. We're also like in process of bringing this to campaigns. We're in a beta right now. We're seeing really, really interesting results there too. Optimizing for either click-through rate or earnings per message or conversion rate. All three we're seeing like really interesting results. So I'm excited about what infinity testing can do long term. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it's been great for our flow so far. I'm actually meeting with Andrew today to get onboarded for campaigns. So that's exciting. And yeah, like definitely one thing I'll say as a marketer who loves control, you definitely got to give it enough room to basically test things that you wouldn't. Because I think like that's the big advantage here. Like I could go write 100 SMS variations this week if I wanted to, but I don't really have a way to test them. And the advantage of this is like this can test thousands of messages that I can't come up with or wouldn't come up with. So yeah, like our restrictions were like don't make dick jokes because like our products are made out of wood. That's pretty simple. Like,
which you know what?
Do that, or maybe we should one day. Who knows? Who knows?
If the bar tab text worked that well, like
that's true. That's true.
Occasional outside lines of work, but in general, that seems smart.
Yeah. All right. Then there's one more thing that I'm meeting with him about today as well, is getting onboarded with your pop-ups. Like a bunch of brands listening, we were customers of Amped. Amped got bought out. A lot of things going on over there right now. I want to explore a kind of better, more reliable, more integrated pop-up system. Again, this is something I got a sneak peek of a couple months ago, but I know you've come a long way on it since then. Tell us about PostScript's new pop-up tool.
Yeah. So we really wanted to deliver best-in-class pop-ups. Like I said earlier, pop-ups tend to deliver 70% or more of a brand's SMS list growth. And so we felt like because of that, and because our mission is like make SMS #1 revenue channel, we need to offer amazing native pop-ups, like amazing that hit all the check boxes that brands want to see. And for a long time, this was a part of the product that was like okay, but really not great. Like not delivering the best in class results that I know you want or that people are talking about in every situation. And so this has been a year-long project. It's been like a long time coming. We poured a ton of resource into it. And while we're still shipping more features, we recently launched, we believe, is best-in-class pop-ups. So there's some things that are like very unique to PostScript that are baked in here, which about on-site opt-in. It's worked really well. We ship something called on-site opt-in reminders, which for anyone who doesn't complete the OTP code, will like text them a reminder and say, hey, just like reply Y, which also recovers like it just adds a couple percentage points to your opt-in rates, which is great. But even that aside, what's now offered in PostScript is the sort of best-in-class pop-up tooling that I think marketers in our space are used for. Code-free, custom fonts, a beautiful drag and drop editor that kind of looks or feels a little bit like Figma. They're full screen. There's a lot of out of the box templates. You can have, you can capture zero party data and have micro yeses in there, stuff like that. And we're not done. On the roadmap for this quarter, all kinds of stuff like spin to win, more custom properties.
Spin to win, let's go. Dude, I kind of want to do it again.
It works. We're gonna have custom pop-up events. We're gonna have desktop exit intent. We're gonna have back in stock. So we have back in stock on PDPs today, but not within the pop-ups. And so we're just gonna keep investing here, and like all the new innovation that comes out in the space, we're gonna keep pushing. But even today, even just with like full screen and design and the high performing templates, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, we're super excited to get on it. And dude, super excited for the future of PostScript in general. Like, I don't say this lightly, or because you're paying me to, because you're not, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. This pod is now sponsored by PostScript, so thank you. But yeah, I don't know if you knew that or not.
That's news to me, but I'm glad.
Yeah, it's great. It's $45,000 an episode, so I'll send you the wire info.
Great.
But no, like it was really cool to kind of meet the whole team this year, because like the way that you guys are thinking about new product development, honestly, I think like a lot of D2C brands could take a lesson from. Like, You guys have invested a lot on getting, feedback from your top customers. And it's really been inspiring and motivating to see like, oh, this is what a kind of a product feedback loop should look like for any company. Because like it was just clear with all the other brands I've talked to who are customers of Postscript, like you guys aren't just shoving features down our throat that like you think are cool. You guys are taking the time to kind of talk to us and really understand what's going to make our lives easier, what's going to make us more money, and what's ultimately going to lead to, the future health and profitability of our brands. So just really appreciate that, man. It's great stuff. There's 2 softwares that I'd say anything like this about. They both sponsor this podcast now, so thank you guys. But yeah, man, it's been really awesome to see. You guys should be proud. And I'm super excited to see where Postscript's at in a year because I know how far you've come.
Thanks,
this
Nate.
year.
I appreciate it, dude. Appreciate all the feedback, and we'll keep pushing to the moon.
Let's do it, dude. Well, the moon, we can't get there because the moon landing was fake and the Earth is flat. There's a dome over it, obviously. But super pumped to have you on, man. Thank you. Let's get some pocket dogs soon. Let's hope the Yanks don't get swept tonight, but I don't know about that. Where can people find you? Alex Beller on Twitter. Ring My Beller on Twitter. LinkedIn.
Ring My Beller on Twitter. I'm there. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm at alex@postscript.io. Always like talking to people. I'm very available.
Awesome. Now let me get a last 60-second question in.
Let's do it.
November starts this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's money printing season for e-com brands.
Mm-hmm.
If they should do one thing with their SMS list in the next 45 days, what should it be?
It should be follow-up campaigns throughout Black Friday, starting on Black Friday through Cyber Week. Hands down. Should be
Perfect.
second campaigns each day.
Awesome. Perfect. Dude, thanks so much for coming on. We will talk soon, okay?
Great to see you, Nate. Thanks, dude.
Likewise, man.